It's that time of the year when businesses will be having sales galore. There's Black Friday, festive season, end of the year, and back to school sales. While it often looks like stores are awash with bargains, experts are warning that these may turn out, in fact, to be financial traps. Craig Newborn, the CEO at Pay Just Now, says making smart financial decisions now can help consumers to avoid Januworry. He says the current economy requires smart thinking around how to budget and how to use innovative payment options in order to maintain a healthy cash flow. Let's get some advice and some tips from him now. Hi, Craig. Thank you for joining us from Cape Town this afternoon here on Today. A very broad question first, and we can double-click as we go along. What are the common financial traps that consumers find themselves in leading up to and during this festive season? I mean, this is where we are a doorstep close to festive season. It's November, it's Black Friday.
Yeah, so Dan, thank you for having me. I think the trick is that people get lost in the hype. It's the end of the year, everybody's tired, they're looking forward to family time, and they get lost in the hype. This is a big day of the year. Interestingly, more than 50% of our trade with all our retailers actually happens in these 3 months. So it's a very big time of the year when people are buying, and the key issue to stay away from is falling into this trap of this hype, and you've just got to be really careful.
Yeah. So now, I mean, there's a hype around with all of this. We are in a very tough economic time now. Our economy is not growing that much. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we were analyzing the impact of the cost of living crisis and all of that. So what are the smart things to do?
I think the first thing that people need to do is, we all say plan, but and I really mean we actually have to do it. Take out a piece of paper and write down the things that you need. And not necessarily the things that you want. Differentiate them from needs and wants, and write down those things, and also write down what they cost, and understand, can you afford it? It's all about being responsible. You don't want the hangover of the new year, the Januworry as we call it, and worrying about how you're going to make ends meet in January. It's all about the planning now.
Yeah, and that will help you to deal with the unexpected.
Exactly. The unexpected, exactly, right? Where you've now spent too much, you hadn't planned, you've actually bought things that weren't on sale, or you've actually bought them at a more expensive price than they normally cost. So that's why I said, write these things down. What is it that you need? What is it that you would want? What are the current prices that you would pay for them today? And if there's an opportunity on Black Friday and through Christmas where these items do trade at lower values, then make sure that you're being responsible and then obviously make that purchase. And then look out for ways that align with your cash flow. If you're a monthly salaried earner and you're earning that salary and it comes in, let's say on the 15th of the month for the government employees, or the 25th, there are payment solutions out there that are aligned to and split your payments into installments around those payment dates. And they don't cost you anything. They are free. They're interest-free and fee-free, and that's this phenomenon of buy now, pay later.
Yeah, I mean, currently we understand 8 in 10 consumers in South Africa are feeling the financial stresses. You don't want to add on to that currently by being caught up in a hype. You might just have to be very brutally honest and say, I actually don't need this. It would be lovely to have it, but I can't afford it.
Absolutely. The statistics are out there. People are under pressure. So you need to be responsible. This is the time to be responsible. And look out for, as I said, these interest-free and fee-free ways of how you can split your purchase into 3 and pay it over time without incurring the additional costs of interests and the associated fees. But it's that responsibility. I cannot stress this enough. People need to write down what they want and separate that from what they need, and focus on the needs first.
Yeah, and taking on extra debt just to fund a want is not advisable.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The other key that I think people need to, it's another rule of thumb that I highly recommend, is don't pay something off longer than what the utility of that item is. In other words, don't use credit to buy consumables like food and things that are instant and that you'll consume on the day, yet you're paying them off over 12 months. Those are the bad things that you should not use installments or credit for in any manner. But if you're buying a set of car tires that are required for you to safely travel on holiday, they're going to last you for the year. That is an item where the utility of that item is longer than how long it would take you to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's a key rule.
Would you advise as well that because January is around the corner, it will be a start of a new school year, that as you are planning, you take January's academic start to the year into account?
Absolutely. And I think that's where we need to identify what the needs are, right? We've got our children going back into school in the new year. So start with writing down those elements as needs and focusing on those elements first. There will be opportunities across the retail base in South Africa where stationery will be for sale at discounted prices during this period. So take the opportunity on the needs.
Yeah. Finally, what will be the key takeout? Somebody just joined us, Craig, to say they're talking about being wise this Black Friday and this festive season ahead of the new school year in January. What would that be?
I think the key takeouts is plan, write down what it is you want, separate needs from wants, and look at alternative payment options that don't charge you interest or any fees.
Thank you very much. That's Craig Newborn, the CEO of Pay Just Now, with some very useful advice for us ahead of Black Friday and the festive season in terms of making sure we plan accordingly and then we don't find ourselves in more financial distress than we currently are experiencing.